Robbie in Croydon, about Anne Widdecombe. And I'll just ask Ola to just tee up what Anne Widdecombe said so that you know what it is we're talking about. You can hear it in her own words. Let's go to Robbie first, though. Hi, Robbie. Morning.
Morning, Vanessa.
Hello. What do you think of what Anne Widdecombe said?
I think she's factually accurate, telling the truth. In theory, she's challenging the machine language of the EU establishment. So Lammy, he's acting bipolar in the opposite reverse of what the EU is now polarising. So a North Pole, Brussels, and a South Pole, Strasbourg, as a macrocosm magnet, then processing all natural language within their macrocosm field, which currently is the Brexit natural language process. So Lammy...
I'd like to pretend I understand you, but I just don't understand a word you're saying. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be disrespectful, but when you said processing the natural field in the macrocosm of their something or other, you utterly lost me, and I am paying attention. What are you talking about, Robbie?
Well, take example, Lammy. His language is bipolar.
What do you mean bipolar? His language is bipolar. What do you mean by that?
Well, I'm taking it from this angle of processing natural lange.
I don't understand what that means, processing natural language. What are you? You're speaking some kind of language that I don't, unfortunately, understand. I would like to understand you, but I can't. What do you mean?
Well, okay, example.
Speak in just normal language so that we can get what you're saying. Otherwise, it's pointless.
Yes. Lammy, for example. Yes. He relates to his social field as black. Which is...
What does that mean? Relates to his social field? David Lammy is black. What do you mean he relates to his social field?
He's not black. That's a jargon.
He's not black?
That's a slant.
What is he?
He's not black. Natural language, that's the de-identification of natural origin. His natural origin is African Caribbean, or African, not black. That is a slant on derogatory jargon.
I mean,
also,
quite frankly, whether I agree with you or disagree with you is immaterial here. I can just simply say, so what? He's not talking about being black anyway. He's talking about the history of his people, and he doesn't describe himself as black. He just says that what Anne Widdecombe has said, comparing Brexit with slavery, he says is ahistorical. In other words, it's not historically accurate. It plays fast and loose with history, and that he says that I've got it here. It is impossible to explain how offensive and ahistorical it is for you to equate my ancestors tearing off their chains with your small-minded nationalist project. Shame on you. What is wrong with what he has just said?
He's enslaved himself to a continuation of the jargon to slave chain his ancestry.
What do you mean he's enslaved himself? I mean, I must say, Robbie, that it must be very difficult to be you, because every single word you utter makes it more difficult to understand what you're saying rather than less difficult. And I would have thought the whole point of speech, though, is to make what you're thinking clear to the people listening to you. And I have to listen to you. It's my job. I have to. I can't be knitting a jumper or looking out the window. I have to listen to you. And with the best will in the world, sir, I find it impossibly impenetrable to get the hang of what it is you're saying.
What I'm saying is the EU have now positioned Ursula von der Leyen into a commission zone. The next armistice will arrive on the 31st of October, where the continuation of war of the EU machine language launched against English natural language. Take, for example, the emancipation of the Ottoman Empire with Israel. The British Empire didn't apply the correct language and renamed the region Israel.
Sir, I wish you well in all your endeavours, but I really cannot continue this conversation because I don't really understand what it is you're trying to say. Now, maybe my lovely listeners find you crystal clear, in which case, great, and maybe they'll ring up and explain. They might interpret for you, but all this stuff about the continuation of natural language, I fail to understand, and I read English literature at Cambridge, and I specialised in practical criticism, which is analysing the text of a conversation, and I can't understand yours, so sorry about that. And thank you so much for calling. I do appreciate the call and your time. All right, lovely listeners, we are discussing this after 9 o'clock. We're talking about Anne Widdecombe's remarks. We're also talking about Pride. We're also talking about the merchandising that's accompanying Pride and seeing what it is you think about it. But this morning we have another story for you too.